Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, sir.
I will get started. Okay, so this is where we left yesterday, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
we are talking about constraints, right? We were talking about constraints. So one important aspect that you have to keep in mind is constraint. Okay, constraints mean what kind of values are allowed on the columns. Okay, constraint means what kind of values are allowed. So of course, you have unique, not null. Primary key, okay, is unique plus not null, and every table can have only one primary key. I mean, you can have a table without primary key. It's not mandatory that you have to have a primary key, but primary key will make accessing faster. So you should have a primary key for every table. Okay, but database does not make it compulsory to use a primary key. You can have a table without primary key, but you can't have two primary, right? You can't have two primary keys. You can have two columns put together as primary key. You can have three columns put together as one primary key, but you can't have two primary keys. Okay, and then you have other constraints like default. Okay, which means when value is not there, you put this as default. So let's say location, you put Hyderabad as default. So if the user does not enter any location, if you enter whatever location, that is taken.
Yes.
But if you don't enter any location, it will be filled with Hyderabad by default. Okay. Okay. Now going back to uh, our table design. Okay. So we have employees, transactions. Now, based on what we have learned, let's go revisit these tables. So here we have a primary key. Here we have to add a primary key, right? So we added LOC ID, we added inventory ID, and we added transactions. No, we have not added, right? So
Yes.
let's add one more here to the left. We will say transaction ID, TID. Okay, this is transactions, right? Yeah, two. Okay, so primary key is done. Now let's look at this scenario here. Okay, this is your location. Okay, so now location, when you have this um, location manager, right? You have location manager. I want to know the Sachin salary, age. Okay, right? So now see column, these are fine, right? But location manager, I want to know Sachin's employee ID. I want to know Sachin's salary, right? So shall I add one more column to the right here?
No,
Right? Why?
we can link the one more
We
table,
have
right?
to link, okay?
Yes.
We have to link because, okay, then you are duplicating the values, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So here anyway, we have salary, date of joining, employee ID, right? So, okay, it is not a good idea to duplicate the things here. Again, if you see here, inventory is fine. Now, inventory, if you see, location Miapur. Who is the owner? Who's the manager of Miapur? Okay, what is the pin code, phone number, email address of Miapur? We don't have to add here. Again, we can add inventory to the location table. Okay, now you talk about transaction. So transaction, again, you have inventory and you have employee. These can be again linked to the already.
Employee details table.
Okay, that is what we say relationships. Okay, relationship exists between different table. Relationship exists between different tables. Those tables are related. You don't have to duplicate the data. Okay, we have to make sure that we have only one source of truth, we call it. So this is one source of truth. Okay, I need any information related to employee, I should go and check in the employee. I want to know when did the manager of location, right? Let's go to location. I want to know when did the manager of Miapur 1 location join the company. I want to know when the manager of Miapur 1 joined the company. So I'll go to location, go to Miapur 1, check who's the manager. Okay. And then I'll go to employee. Okay. And then check the joining date. So this information I need to get from two different tables, not from one table. Okay. Sometimes you might have to get data from joining 3 tables, 4 tables, 5 tables. Possible. You might have to go from here to there, there to there, there to, 5th table and get the information. So we should be able to make sure that we are able to get the right information from the right table without duplicating the effort. Now, again, so if you change the situation back into, let's say, for OLAP kind of application, OLAP kind of application, there, okay, you might even combine location and employee table together. Why to do the join? Why to go from one table to another? When you go from one table to another, it takes extra time, right? When you join 2 tables. In OLAP, you can say, okay, let me join these 2 tables together. Let me join employee and location table. Because if I have to get employee information, manager information very often, okay, and I'm talking only about OLAP, not about OLTP. OLTP, you have to have only one, because editing, remember that directory example, when you create 5 different copies, problem is to edit it. Okay, for reading, it is fine, you convenient, easy, but editing becomes pain. So in OLAP, we are doing reading. So you can create multiple copies. Okay. So OLAP design sometimes can be different because it's one of case and you are using it or your team will only use it. OLAP application will not be used by customers. Okay, it is offline data. I mean, online sense, it is active, we are using it, but it's not the real-time data. It's not real-time data like OLTP. OLTP has to be real-time. OLAP is for specific period of time only. Okay. So, okay. So in the best database, when we talk about the best, best principles, okay, of database design, we should make sure that data is not duplicated. Data is not duplicated. All right. Okay. So going back to relationships, what is relationship? Relationship is how 2 tables are connected or 2 tables are related. Okay. So you can have 3 types of relationship. Okay. You can have like 1-to-1 relationship. You can have 1-to-many or many-to-1. Okay. They are same. Okay. Just that how you look at it, from which side you look at it. And then you have many-to-many. These are 3 types of relationship. 1-to-1 relationship means, okay, one value from one side will have only one corresponding value. For example, let's say employee name and phone number, right? So one employee name will have only one phone number, and assuming that we only accept one phone number in the table, we don't have 2, 3. So one employee will have only one phone number. One phone number belong to only one employee. Okay, that is called 1-to-1 kind of relationship. Okay, joining date, employee ID, joining date. One joining date belong to one employee will have only one joining date. Okay, you can have one employee joining on 2 different dates, possible, but generally it is 1-to-1 relationship only. One employee will be joining on one date only. So this is called 1-to-1 relationship. Okay. Then we talk about one to many. Okay. Now, location. Location versus employee. So one employee will belong to only one location. One employee will belong to only one location. But reverse, if you look at location versus employee, one location will have
Many employees.
many employees. So that is many to many relationship. So from one side it is one to many, from the other side is many to one. One employee, only one location, one relationship is one. But location to employee is many. One location will have many. So this is an example, location to employee. Many to many. Many to many, okay, is where one value here will have multiple values on the other side also many. So both the side it is many. Okay. So transaction ID, for example. Okay, if you look at our transaction table is linking say employee to inventory, right? Now your oil 5 liter can be sold by multiple employees, and multiple employees, okay, and one employee will sell multiple oils, and one oil will be sold by multiple employees, right? So in this case, okay, your inventory versus employee is many to many. Oil will be sold by many employees. One employee will sell multiple inventory, right? So inventory versus employee is many to many relationship. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. So when you look at the columns, when you look at the table, okay, database developers or database architect, this is their job to perform ER diagram. ER diagram we'll see later. E means entity. Relationship is the relation between multiple table. So one to many. Okay. Now remember this. When you have one-to-one relationship, you put the information in one single table. In some cases, you might create two different tables, but mostly it is single table. So when our employee name and phone number, it will be in one single table. Okay. When you have one to many, then you put the information in two tables. Okay. They are connected by, okay, another key which is called as foreign key. So when you have one to many or many to one, okay, then we need to create them in two different tables. So one table for location, one table for employee, and you will have a foreign key which connects them. Okay, foreign key to connect them, and we'll talk about it in some time. Okay, this is interview question. Okay, so you have to understand it. When it is one-to-one relationship, only one table. When it is one-to-many relationship, you have two tables and they are connected by one foreign key. When you have many-to-many relationship, how many tables we need to create? Three tables. Okay, three tables and they are connected by foreign key. Okay, so when you have more than table, okay, they are connected by foreign key. So foreign key remains same, but okay, when you have many-to-many relationship, they are connected by three tables. Blindly, you can follow this rule. Okay, three tables. So now you see here. So here we know that they can be one single table, so employee table. Here we know that two tables, so one will have employee table, one location table. But here you see three tables. So one you have inventory separate, one you have employee separate, and one you will have to join them together as separate. Okay, you have to join them together as separate. So you're creating a third table just to join the values from two different tables. Okay, now give me another example which is not there of one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. Give me some other example. Take your time, think and tell me. apart from what we are doing, okay, from something else, from any other system, maybe train reservation, bus reservation, hotel reservation, any kind of application, you give me an example. One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many.
Well, name and the hotel room number which he is staying in. One to one.
Okay. So you're talking about customer and room number.
Room number.
So that is what kind of relationship?
One-to-one relationship.
No. See, we're talking about database, right? Now, one room, when you check in today, that is room for you. But when you check out tomorrow, somebody else will go in, right?
Okay.
So it is one-to-many relationship.
Okay.
You will be in only one room, but one room doesn't belong to you.
Okay.
Now, your desk can be one-to-one, but your
Okay.
hotel room is not one-to-one. Okay. At that, today it is one-to-one, but tomorrow somebody else will. So in the database, you have to have one-to-many relationship. You have to link table with customer. So you'll have a separate customer table, you'll have a separate room table, and then you will link them using foreign key. So that is one-to-many. One-to-one means you are creating one single table. Okay. Now, the problem with that is, okay, why, okay, now we'll talk about why we need to create two tables. Why not add them in one single table? Okay. So now let's say here we create a table. Let's say, okay. So let's say you have customer ID, okay, CID, you have customer name, customer location, okay, let's say customer email, customer phone. Now you start putting in room information, room number, size, room size, room location, right? Which floor and this, okay. No. Room number will not store the number of members. Number of members will be here, right? So number of members will not be indicated in the room. You might have the number of beds in the room, right? Number of bed is fixed. Number of people in the room is not fixed. So that is not your property, right? Okay. So beds, number of beds, right? Okay. And you can have like category, right? You have so gold, silver, platinum, whatever category. Now let's say, okay, now if I talk about room number 101, let's say. So 101, let's say it is 50 square meter. Okay, location is on first floor. Number of bed it has is 2. Okay, category is silver. Okay, so now let's say Preetham stayed here. Customer ID is 1001. Okay. Okay, coming from Hyderabad. Email is p@p. Okay, phone number is 123. Okay. Now tomorrow, if you go and stay, Hari, in the same room allocated to you, 102. Okay, Hari, Hyderabad, H@H, phone number 333. Now you see, you're staying in 101. This entire information will be again repeated. Right? Now again, next day, if I go and stay here, okay, then somebody else goes and stays here. Okay, so customer information is fine. Okay, we need to have different customers with different information. But room information you cannot have, repeated every time. Now let's say if you remove one bed from here, okay, let's say, okay, you plan to remove one bed or you want to upgrade it to gold class. Then if you have 1,000 people, right, you have to update 1,000 places. And if you miss, gone, right? So this is what the problem is. We cannot, okay, we should not, repeat the information. Okay, this is the problem. You're repeating this information multiple times. So in this case, okay, let me say one-to-many. So what you do, you don't follow this. instead what we will do is, okay, let me delete it so that I get some space. Instead what you will do is, you will create, okay, so what we need, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. Okay. So what you will do is, okay, in this, now see again, it depends upon the way database is designed. We can look at the same problem as one to many or many to many. Okay. For example, let's say you are a regular visitor. Let's say you are a regular visitor, guest house, for example, or, where customer comes very often. When customer comes very often, then you may be, every time you're treated as one entity, so you may be staying in different room also, right? Let's say today you go, 101 is available, they give you 101. Next time you go, 101 may not be available, they might give you 301. So there it becomes one to many relationship. One to many relationship, because you as a customer, sometime getting into 101, 301, 202, okay, different rooms. And rooms also, every day, therefore different customer will come. So it is one to many. But mostly it is one to many, many to many. But mostly it is one to many because customer will not save your information. Okay, customers will get so many, hotels will get so many customers, right? So they will not save your information as a unique value. So what they will say, okay, you'll say, okay, customer ID, okay, name, okay, LOC, email, okay, email, phone, right, okay. So this is your information, okay. So let's say I go and copy this and I put it here. Now in this case, okay, if you go again one more time, right? Okay, next time if you go, okay, you become a new customer for them. Okay, but your information may be same. Okay, P H P at P, okay, 103, because they don't bother about, like, we don't generally stay in same hotel multiple times, right? Maybe once or twice. If you go regularly, then it becomes a different issue. But mostly, most 90% employees, people, now 90% of the people don't go to same hotel again and again, right? So in this case, you are treated as a different customer ID. Though it's same you, but they don't bother. They are not tracking if you're coming in first time, second time, 100 time, they don't do track. If they track, it is many to many. But if they don't track, you are a new person. You are a new customer every time you go. So it is one. Now here you will have your, now you will have your room ID. Okay. Every table should have an ID. Then you have a room number. Okay, then you have room number, then room size, okay, room location, beds, okay, and we added extra column, right? So category. Okay, so I'm saying 101, 101 size is 50, 1 to S. Oh, sorry. This is ID, sorry. ID is 1 only. Okay, room number is 101. Room size is 50. 1 to say silver, right? And then let's say gold, you have 2 bed, location is on 3rd floor, size is 65 square meter, room number is 301, and room ID is 2. Okay, now see, tomorrow if you want to change the room number, let's say room number labeling is wrong, okay, you want to change the room number, you can go ahead and change it. Primary keys generally are not changed. We don't change primary key. So room ID will remain same, but room number you can change. Okay, okay, it's let's say from left to right, but now you want to enable from right to left. Change the room number, but ID will not change. Room ID will remain same. Room number you can change. Everything can be changed. Okay, so this is your okay. Where is insert? Yeah. Okay, this is your rooms. This is your entity or table called rooms. Okay, this is your table called rooms. Similarly, you will have a table called as customers. Right? So this is your table called as customers. This is your room table called as rooms. So customer has customer information, room has room information. But now how do I know where this customer 1001 stayed? Okay, this is what we call as foreign key. Foreign key will be in one, where the relationship is one to many, not in the room, but in the customer. Okay, so you will say here, this is your room ID, or you can call it as room ID. The name need not be same. Okay, so we are adding a foreign key here. Foreign key is added where relationship is one. Okay, because I have to add only one. So let's say if you stayed in room number 1, I mean room ID 1, so room ID 1. You also stayed in room ID 1, here stayed in room ID, let's say 2. So now, okay, now this is a foreign key. Okay, room ID is a foreign key. Room ID is a foreign key, which is linked to rooms.rid. Okay, dot indicates before dot table number, after dot column number. So it says table number rooms and column number RID. Room ID should be linked to RID. Okay, foreign key means the relationship is with column which is in different table, different country, different table, not in same. Primary key is in same table. Foreign key is connecting you to the different table. Okay, so room ID is your foreign key, and you have to make sure here that your RID that you're talking about, RID has to be the primary key in the table. So foreign key always links to the primary key of another table. Foreign key is linked to, so if I'm linking room ID to RID, RID has to be primary key. Then only you can link to another table. So this is how you link two tables. This is how you link two tables, and this is an example of one-to-many. Okay, tell me another example of many-to-many. Once we discuss the example, then we'll come to our example. Tell me example of many-to-many, apart from what we just discussed, different industry or a hotel industry only. Let's talk about.
Different items.
We already discussed, no? Something which we have not discussed.
Food they are ordering.
Food they are ordering. Okay, so which two tables you have here? See, in hotel industry, customer will always be one. Okay, mostly I said, right? Now, okay, now let's do one thing, no? Let's take same example. Let's delete this. I told you, right? Some cases where it is many to many. So let's take same example and let's assume it is many to many. Okay. So same situation, if it is many to many, then what happens? How do you handle? Same situation, many to many. Okay. In this case, what you would do is you will not have room ID. Okay. You will not have room ID. Delete column. You will not have room ID in this table. And okay, you will not have this entry also in this table. Why? Because it is customer table and it is always you are maintaining one information about customer. Okay. So you will not have this. Okay. So you have customer. Okay. There's no room ID here. Okay. So I will put this here, let's say, or let's say here only. Okay. And you put rooms here. Okay. I don't have space here, right? And I'll delete this. Okay. Or I'll delete this. Okay. Many to many example. Previous one in case of M2M. Okay. So we'll take same customer rooms. Now, since you're talking about many to many relationship, your customer will not get duplicated. It's taking, if you go second time, let's say they give you royalty card, right? You have the royalty cards, right? Points and things like that. So in that case, they have to treat every customer as separate. Okay, the big hotels, right? 5-star hotels, they'll give you points when you stay there. Okay, so here you have customer, you have rooms. Okay, now if I go second time, so here, like in previous case, I can say room number ID 1. Now when you visit second time, again you are saying room ID 2. You visit third time, you will get room ID 1 only, let's say, right? Now, if I want to know how many times we visited, very difficult, because what is happening in that case, room ID are not repeating, great. But customer ID are repeating, isn't it? Now, if you maintain every customer as a record and you want to maintain their email ID and phone number, let's say, then you're simply duplicating this in one to many. Row number 1 and row number 3, 1001 and 1003, we are duplicating the record, isn't it? Now, if your phone number changes, email ID changes, location changes, then you have, now see, in first case, when we treat every customer as different, it doesn't matter if your phone number changes. Okay, phone number changes, okay, give me the new number. I'm not bothered about this one. But where you are maintaining record of unique customer, then you see this information is a pain. You're repeating this information multiple times. Okay, which is again problem. Now, if I have to change the phone number, I don't know how many rows I have to change. Have you come here 1 time, 10 times, 100 times? I don't know. Okay, the single version of truth is gone here, right? So in that case, what I'll do, I will maintain only unique information about you. Okay, if phone number changes, I'll go ahead and change this one. This is the unique information. I'll change it here, only one place. But then how do I maintain your visits? So I will have one more table called visits. Okay, table, right? I'll have one more table called visits. Okay, let's say something like this, which will have information only about your visit. Generally, table names will be plural form. Okay, customers, rooms, visits, because we are storing more than one information. So we will have separate table. This is many to many. We said if it is many to many, you create 3 tables. Okay, so this is the third table, which will store only about visits. Okay. So now what you will do here, you will have a visit ID. 1, okay, 2, let's say, 3, let's say 4, okay. So you'll have visit ID. Now, visit ID here, you will say customer ID. See, customer ID will never change. Room ID will never change. I told you room number can change, but room ID will not change. You will assign customer ID will not change. Your phone number, email ID, your Aadhaar number can also change, but your customer ID will not change here. So you will say, okay, first visit customer ID 1001 came. And which room they stayed? Room ID 1. Second time 1002 came. Which room they stayed? 1. Third time who came? 1001 again came. Stayed in room ID 3. Again 1001 came. This time stayed in room ID 2 or maybe 1 again. No problem. Okay. And every information which is unique to visits. Check-in, check-out, for example. Check-in date and check-out date are unique to visits. So you'll put check-in, check-out. Okay. Number of members, let's say. So information which is unique to visit will be in visit table, and visit table will link customer and room ID. So in this case, you see CID and RID both are what?
Primary keys.
Foreign key. Okay. VID is primary key. But CID and RID both are foreign key. CID is linked to CID of customers. RID is linked to RID of rooms. Okay. So you can have date and number of members you can fill in. So now in this case, what we are saying, visit is your third table. Okay. And CID is a foreign key. Foreign key linked to customers.cid, and RID is a foreign key linked to rooms.RID. Okay. So CID is a foreign key linked to customer's ID. RID is a foreign key linked to room's ID. So this table has linking it to the two main table. So when you have many-to-many relationship, okay, we create 3 tables, and this is how we link. Okay, so it can be one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. Now we have about 10 minutes, right? I'm trying to do as much I can. Okay, we'll revisit the tables that we created, but I want you to do the rest of the table. There are 4 tables, right? If I do 1, you do rest 3. If I do 2, you do rest 2. Okay, I want you to create something like this. You can put it in a Excel or Word document, create a table like this. You can mark it like a foreign key. The way I have done, right? Slide number 15 and 16. I want you to do it for the 4 tables that we have here. Can you do that? Yes?
Yes.
At least try 1 or 2 so that you get clarity. Okay. Okay. So this table, is this fine or any changes are required to this table? This is fine. We don't require anything here. Okay. So good that you don't have to work on 4 tables. Now this is your location table. Any changes required here? Yes. Okay. Here you see your location manager. This information is coming from employee table. So in this case, what you will do, okay, you will create a foreign key. LC manager is a foreign key linked to employees dot EID, right? Is it EID or EMPID? EMPID.
EMP.
EMPID. LC manager is a foreign key linked to employees ID. Okay, and okay, you shade it gray. And you don't give EMPID, right? So what is EMPID of Sachin? 1. Sachin is 1. Okay, Virat is 2. Rohit, let's say, is 5. So you'll have one more row here, 5 and Rohit, right? And you'll have details about Rohit here. So here you see this location is connected to employees. Okay, and LC manager is a foreign key linked to the employees.empid. So we did 2. Can you do the other 2 tomorrow? Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Try to do these 2, and then we'll talk about ER diagram. And with that, we will move on to installation of MySQL. Did you try to install, Pritam and Hari?
No, sir.
Just try to see if you can today, or tomorrow also is fine. Okay, tomorrow anyway we are not going to do hands-on. Tomorrow we'll talk about data types. Okay, we have not talked about data types of SQL, right? So we have discussed data types in Python, right? Similarly, we will have data types in SQL. Okay, we'll talk about it. Then we will use SQL. SQL is a programming language. Now what we have learned is design. We have designed these wonderful tables. Now we have to create it in the database. So to create it, we have to learn SQL language. Okay, so we'll learn SQL language to create. So tomorrow we'll finish off and we'll start talking about data types and then SQL. So we're still like 1 or 2 days away from coding. So try to install it. Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So maybe over the weekend also you can try. Okay, we'll end it here. I give you 5 minutes extra, Pritam.
Okay,
We'll
sir.
connect tomorrow, but please try to implement table 3 and 4 so that you understand what we're talking about, right? And then we will move ahead tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Take.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Bye.
Oh, thank you. Bye, sir.